haven't already guessed, we are outside, we are in the garden today. I've decided to come out and get some fresh air into my little lungs. Here we go again. Yes, it is another live English Addict. And we are all here together today, coming to you live from the birthplace of English. I don't know where you are at the moment because I'm not there. Anyway, you are more than welcome to join in. Here we go again. Here we are again. Yes, hi everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope you are feeling super duper and happy today because we are here together once more. And yes, hello. Hello to the garden. Hello to the sunshine. Hello, blue sky. It is a lovely day today. Can you believe it? I can't believe how lovely the weather has turned out. We had a very hot day last week. Did you watch me last Wednesday? I was in the studio. No, not last Wednesday. I beg your pardon. It was Friday. On Friday, I was in the studio and it was the hottest day of the year. Not only that, it was also the third hottest day ever in the history of this country since records began. So on Friday it was a hot day. Unfortunately, due to the fact that there were flies everywhere buzzing around, in fact there might be one or two buzzing around today. So excuse me if I sometimes seem a little bit distracted. Anyway, we are all together again. Oh, yes, we are. I'm not joking. Yes, this is live, honestly. And for those who don't know, my name is Mr. Duncan. I talk about English, I teach English, I like to discuss all sorts of things concerning the English language. And that is the reason why I am here today, to do just that. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of the weekend. We are all together because today it's Sunday. Anything can happen today. Anything. You know what it's like. You know exactly what happens on Sunday. Anything can happen because, of course, we have Mr. Steve with us today. Mr. Steve will be joining us on the live chat as well in around about 25 minutes from now. We have lots of things coming up today. We are looking at the English language. Have you ever wondered, where do all those words that exist in English come from? Where do they come from? Where did they originate? Well, today we are looking at a couple of areas, a couple of things, a couple of times from the past where the English language actually influenced or was influenced by those particular languages. We are, of course, talking about Greek and Latin. Can you believe, even as late as the 1970s, many schools were still teaching Latin as a second language? Can you believe it? I don't think anyone speaks Latin anymore. I know I might get into trouble for saying that. Oh, Mr. Duncan. Many people still like Latin. Yes, I'm not saying that, but I always thought it was odd that Latin was taught in schools here in the UK. Let's face it, not many people speak Latin anymore, and of course Greek as well. We often talk about ancient Greek. But some people don't like to use that term. They say that it is inaccurate. I'm going to use it. If only to annoy people. So that's what we're talking about today. We are looking at the roots of the English language. And when we talk about root, we are talking about words that started in one place and became something else. You might think of a tree. So imagine a tree growing. Well, of course, a tree grows from the ground, from its roots. And then as it grows, it gets larger, it normally spreads out, and then you have lots of branches and also lots of leaves. So think of the English language as something that grows, and I suppose you might also say evolves? I know I'm going to get complaints today, but then again, I always get complaints. I always get complaints. Before we go any further, thank you very much for all of your lovely emails concerning my poor tongue. It is still hurting, but not as bad. So I did receive some very good advice concerning my poor tongue. I have an ulcer from last week when I put some hot food in my mouth, and as I put it into my mouth, the tip of my tongue touched the hot food and it caused my little tongue to burn, which left a horrible ulcer. And as you can probably imagine, I am a person who uses my tongue quite a lot, as Mr. Steve often reminds me when he's talking to me. He does say, Mr. Duncan, please rest your tongue. In fact, I have a feeling that Steve was hoping that I would be quiet over the weekend. I wasn't. But thank you for your lovely emails. I received some lovely letters and emails and messages saying, oh, Mr. Duncan, if you want to make your ulcer less painful, maybe you can use salt water in your mouth. So you can swill salt water around in your mouth. So I think that's a good idea, and I tried that. Also, putting things into your mouth as well to prevent the ulcer from coming into contact with your teeth. And that's the problem, you see, because my little ulcer was actually at the front of my tongue. It was pressing against my teeth. And as far as eating is concerned, very difficult, very difficult. Last night, I'm sure Mr. Steve was trying to punish me somehow. Last night we had chili con carne with extra spice. Can you imagine how much pain I was in as I was trying to eat my chili con carne last night? I had to eat with my head leaning over like that, so all of the food would stay on one side of my mouth. I had to avoid getting any of the food onto my little ulcer. So that's a little insight into my world at the moment. What about you? How is your life going? Is it going well? Oh, we also have the sentence game coming later on. I know a lot of people love the sentence game, and I was asked, can you play the sentence game on Sunday? Because you do it during the week, but you don't do it on Sunday. So that's what I will be doing. I will have some rounds of the sentence game coming up today, and we will be looking at the letter B. B. I have my letter B somewhere. Unfortunately, I seem to have lost it. It's disappeared. Has anyone seen my B? I've lost my B. If anyone has seen my B, can you please return it to me so I can have my letter B next to me on the screen? Anyway, we are playing the sentence game. That is coming up. And as I mentioned, we have Mr. Steve as well. Don't forget, if you want to have captions subtitles. Some people say captions. Some people say subtitles. There are many ways of describing those things. You might say on-screen text. So as I speak, you will have captions or subtitles underneath. All you have to do is press C on your keyboard. Don't enter it onto the live chat. Just press the key. Just take your finger like that and press C on your keyboard, and then as if by magic you will have beautiful sentences, words and letters appearing at the bottom of your screen. Thanks for joining me today. So many people are here already saying hi. Can I say hello to the live chat? Oh yes, hello to you. Nice to see you here as well. Hello. Oh, Wafay. Wafay. My goodness. You are first. Congratulations to you. You are first on today's live chat. Wow, I'm getting very excited. I have to be careful not to wear myself out too quickly, you see. We still have a long way to go on today's live stream. How long will I be here today? Will it be 1 hour? 2 hours? 3 hours? 6 hours? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine me being here for 6 hours, standing in the garden? Well, let's put it this way. By the end of 6 hours, first of all, it would be getting dark, and also, I think I would be very tired, standing up for 6 hours. Sentence game, the letter B, words that originated from Latin and also Greek. So something a little different today. Also, we'll be taking a look at one of my full English lessons. Many people don't realise that I do have lots of videos on my YouTube channel. So that is one thing I always like to mention for those who aren't sure if or when I am on live, and also where they can find my English lessons right here on my YouTube channel. In fact, if you look underneath this video in the description area where the video has its description, you will find the whole list of my video lessons, many over the past 14 years. Oh, another thing I haven't mentioned, yes, of course, can you see on the screen? August has arrived. I am all too aware that August is here, because this month I will be celebrating my birthday. In fact, 10 days from now it will be my birthday. Oh, it's not fair. I can't believe it. I will be another year older on the 12th of August, and the 12th also falls on Wednesday, and I just happen to be here on Wednesday. In fact, you can catch me every Sunday, Wednesday and Friday as well. I'm being attacked by a fly. So you can catch my English lessons, my live streams, every Sunday, Wednesday and Friday, 2 p.m. UK time. So that is when I am on. And we will be on my birthday. We will be on my birthday. That happens sometimes. Have you noticed sometimes in English sentences you have to repeat the same word? So I will be on the 12th of August, which is my birthday. So we will be on my birthday. That is correct, by the way. That is not bad grammar. Sometimes in English you have to repeat the same word in a sentence. It does happen sometimes. And there is a very good example of that time. So we will be on my birthday. The live chat is very busy. Hello Maria. Hello Mary. I wish I had my echo, but unfortunately I can't have my echo outside, I'm afraid. Hello Abdul. Hello Abdul. Also Lena is here. Hello Lena. Grace Chin is here as well. Hello Grace. Nice to see you here as well. You might be able to hear some very excited people in the background because there are people walking down the hill behind my house. So you might hear a lot of people. A lot of very noisy people walking down. Be quiet. Shh. Can you be quiet, please? I'm trying to do a live stream here in my garden. A lot of people do like to come by my house. They like to see if they can spot me in the garden or in the kitchen or maybe sitting on the toilet. Ugh. Hello to Grace Chin Marilda. Hello Marilda, nice to see you here today as well. Super duper to see you here. Hello Andy Vozar. Hello Andy. Lena Mubarak. Hello. And also Irina or Irina. Hello to you as well. I'm going to say hello to many people today. I hope you don't mind. I've had some very strange emails over the past couple of weeks and also messages on my YouTube channel about me saying hello. Should I say hello to you or should I say hello to no one? Very interesting. Now there are people on YouTube, many people who are big stars on YouTube, not me by the way, I'm not a star, but they will only answer your message on the live chat if you give them money. You see? So I like to say hello to everyone. So I don't care, you see, I'm not worried. So if you don't want to give me a super chat, you don't have to. But there are some people on YouTube who will only say hello to you or acknowledge your question if you give them something on the super chat. Me? Of course not. I will say hello to anyone, anywhere. I don't care. You are more than welcome. Hello also Mohsen. Hello Mohsen. Oh, by the way, was it on Friday? I think it was Eid on Friday. I didn't mention it. But yes, it was Eid on Friday. I hope you had a good time if you are celebrating your Eid festival. Thank you very much for reminding me. Quite a few of you reminded me about it. Thank you very much. Hello Mr. Duncan, hope you have a good Sunday. Sandra, I'm having a super duper Sunday because you are here with me now. So my Sunday is going very well. Pedro Belmont is here today. Pedro Belmont is saying hello. Also we have Luis Mendez. Luis Mendez is here today. And of course, Luis and Pedro are two of my moderators right here on the live stream. Hello, Nigeria. This is England calling Nigeria. Are you there? Hello to Solomon. Solomon, what's new, mates? Lots of love from Nigeria. Nice to see you here. I hope you are comfortable and I hope you are enjoying today's live stream. Yes, we are here all together again. Hopefully we are enjoying the English language. Don't forget also you can like and subscribe as well. If you want to like or subscribe, like, subscribe, you are more than welcome to do so. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up like that. Give me a thumbs up and show that you care. Thank you very much for that as well. Hello, welcome to this lovely live class, says Learn English with Siraj. Hello to you. So, are you an English teacher as well? Now, I do get, you might not believe this, some people think I'm joking when I say this, but I do get a lot of English teachers watching my live streams. They do. They watch me. And sometimes maybe I give you some ideas or some tips or some methods of teaching. So some people do like to copy my way of teaching in the classroom. So when they are doing their own classes, when they are giving their classes, they like to take some of the ideas from what I do, which is great. It's no problem. It's a windy day here, however, the weather is quite nice. It is not too bad, actually. What? What I meant to do was this. I don't know what happened then. I didn't press the wrong button. Don't say that. No, I did not press the wrong button. I pressed the correct button. So there it is, the view today outside the window. Oh. And, of course, in the garden, over the past few days, there have been lots of lovely animals coming. My favourite birds. Do you know what my favourite birds are? I'm going to show you my favourite birds, my most favourite birds in the garden. Here they are right now. You will see them arrive. Come on, don't be shy. There they are. Aren't they gorgeous? Long-tailed tits. Oh, and also they are very shy birds as well. So they are not birds that will come into your garden easily. They are very timid. You might say that these are timid birds, but there they are again. Some lovely long-tailed tits. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? They're so nice. The only thing is they don't stay in your garden for very long. They normally arrive in groups and then they will stay for a short time, and then after a few moments they will all fly off together and disappear somewhere else. Long-tailed tits. I love them so much. They're so nice. Aren't they nice? Yes, I think so. Pedro has an opinion about Latin. Latin is a useless language. Well, it might seem useless now, but you can't actually underestimate the influence that Greek and also Latin has on the English language, which is one of the things we are going to look at today. Diana says, I am back from my holiday in Italy and I have never studied Latin. Well, I would imagine that even if you go to the place where it all started, you won't hear people talking in Latin. However, if you want to show off to your friends, if you want to show how clever you are, some people do like to use Latin words when they are talking. However, of course, quite often you will hear Latin used in law as well. So many words that are used in law also originate from Latin. In fact, quite a few of them are used in their original form. So they don't even change the words. They use the exact words. And that often happens in law. Dana says, I know that any international language should borrow words from other languages. Yes, it's true. English was formed by taking all of the lovely juicy parts of other languages. And of course, when you look at any language, you will find there is some influence from other languages in the language itself. I suppose French is a good example. French. You might hear lots of French words used in many other languages, especially English. We like the French words. We really do. Hello also, Sandra. Valentina is here. I like this topic. Very interesting and useful. We are going to go through some words, some common English words, and also we are going to look at the root of certain words as well. As I said earlier, when we talk about the root of a word or the root of a language, we are talking about where it started. From the roots, you grow upwards and then out. So think of English as something that is growing all the time. There are flies everywhere. In my little gazebo, there are flies all over the place. There really are. Hello, MA2. Hello to you, watching in Iraq. Hello, Iraq. Nice to see you here as well. We have Mr. Steve coming soon, I hope. A few moments ago, I was listening to Mr. Steve. He was upstairs talking on the telephone. So I hope we don't have a repeat of the other day. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago I was waiting for Steve to come and say hello and he didn't come? I had to wait for ages, but we will see what happens. Hopefully he will be here soon. Would you like to have a look at one of my full English lessons? We are going to take a look at an excerpt from one of my full English lessons. This is full English number 12. Take a look at this and then afterwards, yes, he will be here, I promise. I will have to go and I will drag him. I will drag him by his legs all the way to my little gazebo. As I said, this is full English number 12. We often use the phrase easier said than done when discussing a possible venture or goal. It would appear that it is easier to say something than actually do it. But why is that? I'm sure you have done it in the past. I know I have. We come up with a big plan or idea that we intend to do at some point, but sadly it never comes to fruition. The word fruition means be made real or completed. It would appear that it is much easier to say you'll do something than to actually do it. The effort needed to start doing something is immense. The two things you really need are determination and motivation. You must be determined and motivated. To be determined is the feeling of being resolute and strong-willed. Motivation is the force that pushes you into doing something. To feel motivated is to be encouraged and spurred on. The driving force that gets you to your goal is motivation. Without determination and motivation, it would appear to be true that some things are easier said than done. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm in the process of unboxing something. To unbox is to take something out of a box or package. Normally something new is boxed or packaged. It comes in a box or package. A large bulky item will often be boxed so as to make it easier to carry and protect the contents. I will now unbox this item. I will remove the contents from the box. We can also say that I'm unpacking or taking the item or items out of the box. Can you work out what this box has in it? This is my new patio table. It is made of metal and painted so it won't get damaged or go rusty from the rain. I need to assemble the table. It has to be put together. I need to construct it before it can be used. Before I can take the table out, I must undo the seal at the top of the box. I need to cut through these pieces of sticky tape, and then I can remove the disassembled table from the box. These are the instructions for building the table. But to be honest with you, I rarely ever look at the instructions. I like to put things together or learn how to work something without looking at the instructions at all. It's more fun that way. The table itself is very heavy and is not easy to remove from the box. After a little pulling and tugging, I managed to get it out. The next thing I need to do is unpack the parts from the packaging. So these are all the bits and pieces I need to make my lovely table. How well will I do constructing it? Find out later. As you know, I love receiving your comments and questions, and today I would like to answer another one of your questions. This question comes from Javier, who lives in Spain, and asks, what are the differences between the words across and through? Both of these words relate to movement. To move across means to move from one side to another. As a preposition, across shows the position of movement. She ran across the street. As an adverb, across can be used as an expression of measurement. In length, the bridge is 100 feet across. The word across can also show position. He lived across the road from me. A crossword answer that reads horizontally is defined as being across. The word through means to move in and out of something. For example, if you go into a forest and come out the other side, then you have gone through the forest. So through describes the action of moving among something. To move forwards among trees means you are moving through the trees. As you move, you pass things. To move through a forest, or through bushes, or through a crowd of people. You can move through something, such as a doorway. To step from one side to another is to move through. To go through or fall through. To look from one side of something out to another is look through. He looked through the window to see if anyone was at home. To make a hole in something means that you go through or you have gone through. To inspect or study something in part or whole is to go through. I need to go through these essays and check them for mistakes. To be through means to finish or end something. The thing in question is finished and over. I'm going to tell my girlfriend that we are through. In a contest, the word through means to be chosen for the next round or heat. Mr. Duncan, you have made it through to the final. So, Across relates to direction, while through tends to relate to movement and objects. Thank you for your question, Javier. And if you have a question for me to answer, then please feel free to drop me a line at my email address. Ooh, fancy pants. Very nice. So there it was, an excerpt from one of my full English lessons. Guess who is coming up now? Can you guess who is about to appear on your computer monitor or mobile device? Well, you are about to find out. Yeah!
Enough. I haven't done anything yet. I don't deserve any applause, Mr. Duncan.
You certainly don't.
Hello to everybody. Hello and welcome. My own special welcome to you all.
Isn't that lovely?
Oh, Mr. Duncan.
Hello.
It's very bright out here today.
It is bright out here. It's summer.
A few people have been asking, have you still got a sore tongue?
Yes.
Have you mentioned it already?
I did mention it briefly. Yes, I still have my little ulcer on my tongue, but I did receive some very interesting emails giving me advice on how I can repair or to ease the pain that I've been in.
I'll tell you something between you and me.
Yeah?
No, not you, me and the viewers. Although you're here, so you'll hear it, Mr. Duncan. Watching Mr. Duncan eat. I know he's been in pain, but it's been very painful to watch Mr. Duncan eating. He's taking forever. He was eating on one side, like this. All sorts of ways to try and avoid getting the tip of his tongue in contact with the food. And I thought I would help you, Mr. Duncan, last night by making a very spicy chili con carne. And as soon as that hit your tongue, you were in agony, were you not? Oh, you're not listening. You'll have to watch it later. But yes, Mr. Duncan has took 25 minutes to eat his food last night. And it was painful to watch. Mr. Duncan, you can stop it now.
Oh,
I've
okay.
told them all. Yes, you're not the only one in pain, suffering. I have to watch you eat. It takes forever.
Well, I've got earache already from Mr. Steve shouting into my ear.
I've got very little patience.
Yes. Well, yes.
Well, you were going on and on about it all through the middle. Oh, my tongue. Oh, poor me. Oh, I can't eat. Oh, it's too hot.
Why did you make? Well, I'm sure you did this on purpose. He made the spiciest meal.
Yes, I said that already.
He could find. Well, I didn't hear. You see, I had my fingers in my ears. You see, so I couldn't hear your lovely words.
Well, it's nice that your viewers are thinking of you.
Yes, I had some lovely remedies. Salt water.
Salt water. That is the oldest remedy for all these sorts of things. A sore throat. My mother always says, if you get anything in your mouth, sore throat, tonsils, anything, salt water. Gargle on salt water. That's all they had back in the 1930s when my mother was growing up. They didn't really have antibiotics.
No. Antibiotics are a pretty recent thing, aren't they? But I also had a suggestion. I think it was Belarusia said put some cotton wool under your lip and over your teeth. The only thing I was worried about was swallowing it. Yeah. So I didn't go to bed with anything in my mouth. There's no answer to that, really, is there?
My hat's being admired already by Beatrice.
Oh, I see.
Every week somebody admires my hat.
Yes, it is a very nice hat.
It's a very tough hat.
Where did you get that hat? Where did you get that hat?
I got it from a shop in Church Stretton.
Yes. You know what? I really hope one day someone will sponsor this show. There are so many opportunities for businesses and brands to actually be mentioned here. I mean, there's your hat,
Tilly,
there's my hat,
Adidas.
a well-known sports brand. There's my watch as well, which, by the way, notice today, please
Ooh,
notice,
yes.
I have coordinated everything, so my watch and my t-shirt actually go together.
That's a big world. That's a big word in the world of fashion.
Is it?
Coordinating.
Yes.
We've got. Sorry, Mr. Duncan. We've got somebody at work, and it's always a bit of a something that we always have a bit of a joke about. In front of this particular person, it's a lady at work, and when we meet up, obviously we're not at the moment. She always matches everything. So her shoes match her dress, match. She might have a ribbon in her hair or something, her hair tied up with something. Everything matches.
A ribbon in her hair. A ribbon in her hair. Where was she going? To the local fair?
But you know, that's attention to detail,
Oh, I
isn't
see.
it, when you match. So you've matched your orange stripy top with the orange stripe in the strap.
Yes. So my
your
t-shirt,
watch.
and my watch are coordinated. This is the only item of clothing that matches this watch. So really, whenever I wear this watch, I should actually wear this t-shirt. But I have nothing else that matches this.
Well, is anyone from Lithuania watching?
Hello,
today?
Lithuania.
Lithuania, because if you are, you may well recognise that watch, because that's where it comes from.
It does. So this is a lovely
So-
gift, a gift that Steve bought almost 2 years ago. Can you believe it? Because my birthday is in 10 days from now.
Well, let's count Russia in there, because essentially, well, I wouldn't. The watch is made in Lithuania, but I think the company itself is Russian.
Okay.
So anyone from
Well-
Russia watching, or Lithuania?
Do they build the watches in a hurry? Because they're always Russian.
Ha ha ha!
Oh, thanks a lot. Thank you, Steve, for that vote of confidence on my joke.
Accent likes the apple tree.
The apple tree is lovely. Would you like? Are you going to eat one of the apples? They are
I
disgusting.
don't think they're ready just yet.
I don't-
I think they need to give. I'll tell you something, Mr. Duncan. It is making my job of mowing the lawn very difficult, because there are so many dropping off. Do you notice that with apple trees?
I notice many things, especially on my body. Many things on my body are dropping off. Not only the apples.
Or shrinking? I mean, no, what happens is the apple produces, obviously produces the apples, but I think at some point, if it's, we went through a very dry period when there wasn't very much water, and I
Yes.
think the apple tree must say to itself, I've got too many apples here, not enough water, I'm going to chuck some of them off. And you can break your ankle walking along here
Yes.
at the back of us, and I have to clear them all up before I mow the lawn. There must be about 10 every day. Shall I get one, Mr. Duncan?
Can't you just go over them with the lawnmower? Won't it just chop them up?
No, it doesn't. What happens is, no, because my lawn, I cut it quite high,
They're quite high.
so it all that happens is that the wheels bounce over them, then they go rotten, the apples, and
Yeah.
then they you get patches in your grass where the rotten apple decomposes on the grass and forms a brown patch. So you don't really, you have to clear them off. So
Yes.
I'm going to get one, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
Let's have a look. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
don't do the rest of that, please.
So that's not quite ready yet.
No, that looks like it's been eaten by worms. Look at that. That is a very disgusting looking apple. So even though people are admiring our apples, they are actually quite mealy.
We've been here 7 years. Mealy. Yes, that means they've got nasty spots on them and maybe insects growing inside
Yes.
them.
So I think inside this apple there might be a family of worms
Well, let's
living.
have a look.
A family of worms living in there, you see.
We've been here 7 years. We were quite excited when we came here that there was an apple tree. Oh, we can have fresh apples.
Ooh.
But we've never, in 7 years, I've never eaten one, never had one that tastes nice. I'm tempted to bite into it. I'm going to rub it on my leg.
Are you?
There we go.
Don't get too excited.
That's what the... It's like I'm about to bowl in cricket, isn't it? They always rub it on their legs, on their thighs, don't they? The cricketers.
Do they rub the ball?
They rub the cricket ball on their thighs.
What about the other balls?
So that they can get a bit of spin on it.
Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, it looks nice. Actually,
that looks. I mean, it does look. It looks like a real.
Actually, it's not too bad.
See, that's okay. It looks like a real apple. But what does it taste like?
Actually, it's sweeter than I thought.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
if Mr. Steve collapses tonight
that's quite nice.
with some sort of food poisoning, we know why. Okay, Steve, we've got the.
That's just quite.
Oh, but you're eating all the worms. What about all the wriggly worms?
There aren't any worms.
Really? Are you sure about that?
That's enough. I'll leave it for the wasps.
Okay. Or the squirrels.
My apple. Actually, that was quite nice.
Oh, okay. Sometimes you see the squirrels, Steve, picking up the apples in their teeth, and they run off with this giant apple in their teeth. Sometimes.
I know. I mean, the size of an apple to a squirrel. It must be like having something this big, mustn't it? I mean, it's bigger than their head.
Yes. So you're on about the scale.
The scale.
So an apple to a squirrel must be huge.
Must be like a football.
It would be like us eating a melon without cutting it. It's like you've got a melon in front of you and you just sink your teeth into the melon. We have a lot of things to talk about, Steve. We don't want to waste too much time because I will get complaints. People saying, Mr. Duncan, your live streams are too long. Can you please make them shorter? And some people saying, Mr. Duncan, your live streams are too short.
Yes,
lots
of people, I've noticed that.
Can you make them longer? I'm getting very confused. I'm dizzy at the moment. I'm dizzy because I don't really know what to do. So we can either do 2 hours today or 6 hours today. So then 2 hours will be the short one. And 6 hours will be the long one.
Jamila says, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Except those apples. Unfortunately, those apples, I think those apples are liable to bring the doctor to the house to pump Mr. Steve's stomach out.
Oh, and Hack Leo here said, Newton is sitting under the apple tree.
He is. Of course, Isaac Newton discovered apples. Before Isaac Newton, before that apple fell on Isaac Newton's head, there were no apples anywhere. So Isaac Newton was the first person to discover apples.
He was. If you don't believe that, look it up in Wikipedia.
It's on there.
Yes, but that's a very well observed observation. I couldn't think of another word there.
A well observed observation.
Anybody from Russia watching, or even better, Lithuania.
Okay.
And then we can say, do you recognise this watch?
Do you recognise this watch if you are watching in Lithuania? Or Russia? Or anywhere on the planet Earth, maybe?
Yes.
So we are talking about Latin words and Greek words, Steve. You've got to stay with me now because
Thank you, Mary.
We do have some content here to put out.
We are the apple of Mary's eyes.
That's super duper. So we have the sentence game coming later, Steve. I've already promised a lot of things today, you see, so I've got to be, I've got to make sure we do these things.
Right, get on with it, Mr. Duncan.
If we're promising things. So we are looking at... Now, the English language seems as if it's just created from well, maybe original words, but you might actually be surprised to find out how many words in the English language are not original. They weren't created to be English words. They've actually been taken away or they've derived from other languages. And two of the most common that you will find are, well, first of all, we have Greek root words. Now, when we talk about root words, it means where they come from, the actual origin of a certain word. As I said earlier, it's a little bit like a tree growing. So you have the roots of the language, and then as it grows, it moves out, and lots of new words are created from those root words. So let's have a quick look, shall we, Steve? So we have the root word, we have the meaning, and also some examples of how those things are actually used. So we're going to have a look right now. This is something we will go through very quickly. I know some people don't want to hear this. I don't know why. I think it's quite an interesting subject, to be honest. So take a look at the screen, Steve.
You can't please everyone all the time.
No, if you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. I like that one.
Right, my eyes are glued to the screen, Mr. Duncan.
Okay then. So here's a good example. So we have the root, which comes from Greek, anti. So
Anti.
you will see anti used at the start or the beginning of many words. Anti. And its meaning literally is against, to be against something. So you might also say opposing, would you say?
Yeah, as the opposite, you mean?
Well, it's
Oh,
the same,
yes.
the same meaning. So
Yeah.
to be against something is maybe the opposite. You are pushing in the opposite direction. So anti literally means against. And you will see anti in many words, and you can see some examples there on the screen right now. For example, antibacterial. So something that will prevent bacteria from growing or spreading. Things that you put on your hands. We all know at the moment. You don't need me to tell you that at the moment we are all using antibacterial cream or gel on our hands during these crazy times. You might also have antidote. You can see it there. Antidote. So an antidote is the thing that makes whatever is troubling you, a disease, an illness, it is the cure for something. The
The opposite to that condition that you've got.
Yes. And of course we have the last one, antithesis, which is often used to mean the opposite. So it is the meaning of something. It is the opposite of that thing. So anti is often used at the start of English words, but its origin, it's actually a Greek origin.
Would you call it a prefix?
You can call it a prefix, yes.
Camilla says.
Anything that goes at the start of a word. Quite often we have words or parts of words, maybe sometimes another word, which of course we describe those as compound words. Here's another one. So now you can see what I'm actually doing here. And here's another one. Oh, yes, AST, ast, which of course is star. Star.
Oh, I didn't know that, Mr.
Yes.
Duncan.
So
Ast.
this, of course, comes once again from Greek. It is a root word. That is to say that from that you create other words. So ast or aster. And of course, you can actually see the word star, how that would come from that word. So aster, star. So you can see how over the years that would be changed or altered. Star.
So all those words there, asteroid, astronomy, astronaut, if you knew that was, if you didn't know what those words meant, AST, you would think it was something to do with the stars or up in space. What about asterisk?
Well, I think that's a completely different.
Okay,
That's a completely different word.
that's
So
got AST.
just because a
I
word
wondered.
starts with that doesn't mean that's where it originates from. And that's the interesting thing. So it can catch you out sometimes. Some words do start with those letters, but it doesn't necessarily mean it originates from the same
What's
place.
shape of an asterisk? I can't think now. Is it a sort of starry shape?
An asterisk.
Yes. Isn't it that sort of shape?
Yes, it is like a little. Well, it does look like a star, so maybe it is related.
Maybe it is, yeah.
But I'm not going to say it is.
But it could be.
Just in case it isn't. But yes, that is an interesting point, Steve. It had to happen eventually. Here's another one. I think this one's easy. Accu. Accu.
Oh, yes. Or aqua.
What Well, in this sense, aqu means water. So you are relating anything to water. Something that is related to water. Something that is derived from water. Something where water is stored or kept. So, yes, aqu. And of course we have aquarium.
Yes.
Aquarium, a place where water is stored for animals such as fish to swim around in. And also aquatic as well.
Anything to do with the water.
So in that sense, aquatic is referring to anything in the water, something related to water, something that takes place, maybe sport. So there are some types of sport. There are lots of water sports that you can play. So aquatic sports.
So if you see AQU or AQUA, then you know that it's connected with water.
Water. So aquatic.
I've got some water here in my hand.
And the final one there is aqualung. An aqualung is something that you can use to breathe underwater. So it is a lung that you can connect to your mouth and it will allow you to breathe underwater. So I always find this fascinating. I remember many years ago, I used to have an old dictionary at home. We are going back many years. And I used to love browsing through the dictionary. I would just look through the dictionary and browse lots of different words. And I was always fascinated how certain words would appear in so many other words, even if they were completely unrelated.
We've got some other suggestions from people here. Aquaman.
Aquaman, yes.
Which is a cartoon character, obviously a man that goes underwater.
He's a superhero.
Yes, we've also got hydro. Aqua equals hydro, says TS.
That's it. That's another one that will be used at the start of a word.
Maybe hydro. Is hydro Greek or is that?
Well, I might be coming onto that. I might be coming onto that later on.
But yes, if you see hydro in front of a word, you know that that's to do with water as well.
Here's another one. Auto. So again, auto. This is once again a Greek root word. So auto refers to self. Self. So when you see words like automatic, so automatic means something that is being done by itself. So on its own, by itself. Automatic. It is being done by itself. It needs nothing else to operate it or to work it. And you have automate. Automate is to make something become self-functioning. You automate something. I suppose you might say, Steve, over the years, automation has caused a lot of problems around the world as machines take over doing certain jobs. There is a lot of automation. Automate. You are giving maybe a task to a machine to carry out instead of a person doing it. And of course we have autobiography as well. An autobiography. That is a story about a person's life written by the subject itself. So maybe a famous man or woman will write a story of their own life. It is their autobiography or autobiograph. That is the actual story itself.
Mary has said automotive.
Yes, automotive. Again, I believe that refers to things that move. So maybe things that push something along or pull something along, such as, I would say, steam trains.
Well, an automobile.
Yes, and of course, probably the most obvious one, the automobile.
Or
yes.
a car. Automobile, it's something pulled along by an engine.
I think so. So yes,
automatically.
Again, another good one. Let's bring another one up so you can see what we're doing now. How Greek root words. No, I think this is quite an interesting one, Steve. Because this is actually a word that is often used in various ways. In fact, there's probably one very famous way in which this particular word is used. But the word biblio simply means book. And that's why I suppose you have what people consider, not necessarily us, we are not giving our opinion, but they say the great book, the Bible, you see. So the Bible is seen as the original story or the original book, hence Bible. So biblio means book. You might say a bibliophile. A bibliophile is a person who is crazy about reading books.
If you see file in anything, that means that's something that you like.
Yes.
Or attraction.
Yes. So again, that also is used from an ancient word. So biblio, a book. A crazy person who, well, not a crazy person, a person who is crazy about books. Okay, here's another one.
Pedro, by the way, is giving us lots of flowers today.
Oh, that's nice.
We've got lots of flowers, so thank you very much.
I'm not sure if my hay fever will agree with that. Here's another one, Steve. We've got
autoimmune disease. Going back to another one, yes.
Yes, self. A self-actuating defense. So the defense in your own body. So the defense that fights off viruses or bugs
is attacking you.
So the disease itself is attacking your autoimmune system. Now there are many illnesses that can do that. Here's another one, Steve. Bio. Bio. Once again, some people might not realise where this actually comes from. So when we say bio, we mean life. We are talking about life itself. So maybe the creation of life, the formation of life, to live. Your biography is the story of a person's life. Biology.
Yes, biology, the study of living things.
Yeah, because you studied biology at university. So
study of living things. Biodegradable, which is living things that or anything that degrades on its own due to bacteria and fungus breaking it down.
So something that exists that can be broken down or absorbed naturally.
Yes, so in other words, what that's saying is something that breaks down due to life. So in other words, that life is bacteria, is maybe little insects, fungus, breaking things down. So yes, that's very good, Mr. Duncan.
Here's another one. We are going to look at some Latin ones, by the way. Not just Greek, we will be looking at Latin as well for those who really love Latin.
Biodiversity, says Diana. The diversity of life, all the different types of life that are out there.
Here's another one. Chrome. Again, you might not realise that this actually originates from Greek. Chrome. So when we say chrome, we are talking about colour. Colour. So colour of any sort. Colour. We are talking about chrome. So you might say monochrome. So when you say monochrome or monochromatic, what are we actually saying?
Yeah, well, mono means one. So there we go. See, it's very good to know these derivations, which is why Latin's very good as well. Because you can work out the meaning of words from these. So mono means one, chromatic means colour, so that just means literally one colour.
Yes.
So it could be red or green. And if you had polychromatic, poly means many, so it would be many colours.
Maybe a rainbow. You could describe a rainbow as polychromatic.
You could do.
Yes. And we have, what's that second one, Steve? See, is that phyto?
Phytochrome.
Phytochrome.
Yes.
See, now for me, I don't mind admitting it. If I see a word that I don't know the meaning of, I will admit it. I'm not a person who has to hide and go, oh, I don't want to lose face by not knowing that word. But I don't. What is phytochrome?
Didn't you look it up, Mr. Duncan, before you came on?
I did not. I have about 100 of these words, you see.
Phyto. I think that's connected with living things. I think might be wrong there, but yes. Will someone tell us the meaning of phytochrome?
Yes.
I think chlorophyll in plants is a phytochrome. I don't know. I might be wrong there.
So it might actually be related to
Phyto.
it might be related to the colour of plants.
So phyto, what that must mean something. That must be derived from Greek, Latin, something like that.
We will
and
have a
maybe
look.
somebody will tell us,
Yes,
please.
that's an interesting one. So that's a word. It's a specialist word. Don't forget, sometimes in English, if you are teaching English or learning English, quite often there will be words that you rarely come across or even use. And the reason is because they're specialist words. They are used in special fields or areas.
Chromotherapy. Therapy due to colours.
Yes, using.
Using colours.
Yes.
You can do that because there are benefits of colour therapy. I don't know how well established that is, but Bella has given us hearts in many different colours.
Oh.
So thank you very much. That could be. Yes, I won't try and make up a word there.
Some polychromatic hearts.
Yes.
Lots of lovely colours there. Very nice.
Colour palettes.
Here's another one. I think a lot of people.
Phyto is from plants.
Oh my good. Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay then. So
I thought it was.
would that be similar to photosynthesis?
Well, phyto. Yes, I
Because
don't know what phytochrome means exactly,
No.
but you think
Oh.
that would be. If it's related to plants, then it must refer to the chlorophyll,
Yes.
which
So
is green.
That's it. So it's
So,
talking about the pigment or the colour of plants.
Yes, it's related to the colour of plants.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Says
That's amazing. I feel.
Alexandra.
Can I just take a little moment here to congratulate myself
Oh,
for piecing that together? So you can sometimes, if you know the root words, sometimes it's very easy to come to the conclusion of what the meaning of the word is. So that was a very good example of how you can piece together the meaning of a word without actually knowing what the word means, because you recognise parts of the word.
yes. So phyto means plants, chrome, so it relates to the colour of plants. So
I didn't plan that.
chlorophyll is green. Of course, you have lots of different pigments in plants, don't you? You've got red pigments,
Yes.
all sorts of different pigments. So, yes, it just refers literally to the different colours in plants, in the plant tissues.
Here's another one, Steve.
Green and the chlorophyll being the common one, of course.
Here's another one, Steve. Chrono or chrono. Chrono.
Oh,
Of
I thought we'd had that one.
No,
No. Okay.
Time.
Chrono, time.
Time.
Chronos.
As I understand, I think it was the Greek god of time, Chronos or Chronos. So I think that's where that comes from. I think what one came before the other. I'm going to assume that the god came first and then the word.
Pedro wants to read your autobiography.
Mine?
Not mine, obviously, just yours.
Well, I think yours is probably more interesting than mine. Although I don't know about that. Maybe one day I will write I will say my life on YouTube by Mr. Duncan, the ups and downs of being an internet sensation. Something I've never been, by the way. I've never been an internet
Phyto is Greek, means plant.
Okay, yes, I think we've ascertained that. Chronic, you see. So that's an interesting one. Now, you know a little bit of biology. Chronic. So something chronic, we often say something that is sudden or serious, an illness of some sort.
Yes, a chronic illness.
Yes. So I'm just wondering how that relates to time. So maybe it's saying that it's sudden. So it occurs sudden.
I didn't know that
and
chronic
quickly.
related to the word chrono.
Yes. Well, that's
But,
what I'm trying to. So maybe it's because of something happening suddenly and seriously. So maybe it is saying that it develops, maybe an illness that develops in a very short time and becomes serious is
Well, I thought
chronic.
a chronic disease was one that you have for a long period of time. An
Oh.
acute illness
Okay.
Acute illness is one that happens quickly,
That's it.
whereas a chronic illness happens over a long period of time.
Oh, okay then.
So in other words, you've always got it.
So you might have a chronic chest infection.
Yes.
So that means you are suffering from the chest infection for a very long time. Is it my imagination, or are we being eaten by...
There are insects, there are little thrips, tiny little black thrips or thunderbugs.
Yes, we talked about this on Friday.
They're a chronic pest.
Yes.
They're always there.
They crawl everywhere. I think there might be some in my underpants, although I don't mind that one. What? Chrono is time. Chronic. Synchronize. You see, that's interesting. So synchronize. You have the word crone in there, or chrono. So putting something with something else relating to time. So maybe you have a watch and I have a watch. So we make sure that our watches have the same time.
So yes.
we will synchronize our watches so they both show exactly the same time.
So I presume sync means the same. Sync must mean the same, and then same time. So yeah, you're making two things or three things all do exactly the same time at the same time.
And then at the end there, you have chronicle. Again, I would never think of that. You say the word chronicle, but in fact you're not really thinking of the meaning of the word, but in fact you have a record of events.
Yes.
So you are literally writing down or recording time. It is the recording of events.
Almost like a diary.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? So,
of events.
So even that word, chronicle, you are not studying, but you are looking at what happens around you over time, and you are making some sort of record. And of course, the earliest form of recording anything was...
Tablets of stone?
Well, drawing and writing.
Oh, right.
Yes, so drawing on the old
cave paintings.
Cave paintings. Parts of Australia. You can go to Australia and you can see some of the earliest drawings ever actually
I wonder how old
made.
they are. I bet they're hundreds of thousands of years old, or at least tens of thousands of years old.
That's it. Well, if they
Probably.
if they were made by human beings. So yes, so they're chrono or chrono. So yeah, I think that's an interesting point, an interesting thing to actually look at. We've got loads more Greek words, but I think really we should move on to Latin.
Because we've got something else coming up as well.
We have the sentence game.
Yes.
We want to play the sentence game. I will be getting complaints, you see. Latin root words. Here we go then.
Latin. That's it. So Latin, Mr. Duncan, if you were clever, I know when I went to school,
Yes.
back in the 70s, the 1970s, you could only learn Latin. You were only allowed to learn Latin if you were good at French.
Interesting.
If you were good at languages generally, then they would let you learn Latin. So normally the order that you did it in at school was you learnt French first,
Yes.
because they're the nearest country to us, and then if you were good at French, they'd let you do German, and then if you were good at German and French, they would let you do Latin. I never got further than French.
No.
I've got to say.
If you want to really show off, in front of other people, use Latin words. There is one person in particular who likes to use Latin words. We are talking about the Prime Minister of this country. So he likes to drop Latin words into his conversations or his speeches. And I think what you're doing when you do that, you're trying to assume dominance. You are saying, look how clever I am. I'm using Latin. Oh, look at me.
Yes, and for a populist leader, it's a very strange thing to do.
Okay, we're not. That wasn't where I was
Populist
going.
leaders don't normally use
Okay,
Latin.
Steve.
That's just a passing comment, Mr. Duncan. slightly controversial. I haven't been controversial for several weeks.
No, it's very good. Well, let's try and keep it like that, shall we?
But anyone who's been to one of these sort of classical colleges like Eton, Harrow, that rich parents send their children to in
Yes.
this country, and you'll have them all in your country, they will learn all the classical subjects like Latin, history, all that sort of thing. So yes, and it is useful, not essential, but it is useful. Oh, excuse me, Mr.
Well,
Duncan.
That's my left arm
Oh.
now has whatever Mr. Steve has.
I could have sneezed all over your equipment, but I decided not to.
There's no answer to that.
I think something crawled up my nose, Mr. Duncan.
Anyway.
Yes, it's useful because it helps you to understand the meaning, but it's not essential,
No.
is it? Let's face it.
So Latin is taught, but only in very posh, elitist schools. But most people now don't even bother. Most people don't even bother to learn English nowadays, when you think about it. Here we go then. Steve, we've got to move on.
Yes.
I have to be firm. So once again, we have Latin this time. So I didn't want to favour, you see, I didn't want to favour Greek, so I thought we would have some Latin. I don't want to upset the Italians, you see. So here we go. I wish I could do this quicker. Ah, this is it. Ab.
Ab.
So this is actually a very simple word, 2 letters, ab, but quite often used as a prefix to many words that are saying maybe the opposite or something that is pushing in an opposite direction, you might say. So the meaning of ab in its Latin use is move away. You are moving away. So abstract. The word abstract means you are moving away from reality, something that might seem nonsensical or strange or weird or something bizarre is abstract.
Like your live lessons, Mr. Duncan.
Some people say that I am very abstract. You might think of certain artists who
Yes.
used abstract forms of painting. There are many.
Yes, it's sort of distorted reality almost.
So you are moving away from that which is real. So you are creating something that has reality, but you are somehow turning the reality around. You are twisting the reality. Hence, abstract.
So an abstract painting is a painting of something, but it's not the classical type of painting where you draw exactly what you see.
No.
It's a distorted form.
Maybe
of
even your
reality.
own, perhaps even your own interpretation of reality can be abstract.
Would you say Van Gogh or Van Gogh?
I'm
was
not-
an abstract painter. Would you say?
I wouldn't say. I would say he's more an impressionist because you are taking reality, but you are. I think it depends on the form of the painting or the type of
Yes.
material or your style of actually doing it. So there is a slight difference there.
Maybe somebody could give us an example of an abstract painter.
Well, I think there were quite a few, aren't there?
I'm thinking of somebody, but I can't remember their name. Abnormal.
Well, I always
Says
thought Salvador Dali, you see.
That's the one I was thinking.
Salvador Dali was an abstract painter. He would take common items or objects and create his own version. And once again, you are using reality, but you are somehow turning it or twisting it. So Dali was a very famous.
Absent. Absent.
Well,
Moving away from. You're not there anymore.
that's it. To vanish, to disappear.
If you're absent from school or absent from this live stream, it means you're not here. You've moved away. You've gone away.
I think that refers also to the sense of scent, which is to be arriving or to be there. So absent is to be away or not there. And of course abstain.
Yes.
well. So abstain means you can do something if you want, but you prefer not to do it.
Yeah, so
may-
if you... Go on.
Oh?
I was going to say if you were a person, if you drink alcohol, you might decide to abstain, to move away from drinking alcohol for a period of time or forever.
Abstain. Maybe there is a vote taking place, but you would prefer not to cast your vote either way.
Yes, I think the thing that we've got to be careful of is that not all words beginning with AB are necessarily going to mean to move away from.
That's it. Yes.
So some people are giving it words beginning with AB, but it doesn't necessarily mean moving away from.
It's also worth mentioning that there are many other things that can influence the English language. So we are talking about a very wide selection. I was going to show an excerpt from one of my lessons where I talk all about this, but because time, look at time, my Chronos has completely run away with me.
Your Greek god of time.
Yes.
Your chronometer.
Yes. He doesn't want to spend too much time here, you see. AB, to move away, ab. So there are many words we can use. We'll have a look at a couple of more. There are so many, you see.
And then we're going to play the sentence game, are we not, Mr. Duncan?
We will be playing the sentence game in a few moments. By the way, my tongue is starting to hurt.
So Van Gogh or Van Gogh, depending on Van Gogh, there's various ways that people pronounce that word in the UK. Were impressionist, you were right, Mr. Duncan. So giving an impression of what reality looks like,
Yes.
but not exactly reality.
That normally refers more to the medium of the artist. So Van Gogh or Van Gogh would often put the paint on almost as thick as the thing that he was actually painting. You could actually almost touch his painting and feel the shape of the actual thing he was painting. Sorry about that. I do go on sometimes.
Yes, that's the use of prefixes is interesting, because depending on when that word first came into use will determine whether that prefix will apply to it or not. Because if people were using that particular prefix at the time to form words, say 1,000 years ago, they might use that same prefix, but not sort of 10 years ago to make a word, but not refer to that meaning of the prefix. So, yeah, you can't always assume that because I think some you can. If you saw chrono in front of something, that would always relate to time.
Yeah, it's like chronology.
Yes.
You are talking about the order of events that they happened in. So when we talk about chronology or chronographical order, you are talking about the order in which things happened. So yes, it can happen. And don't forget, the English language is around 1,000 years old. So you can see now how in the early days of English, as English was being formed, when we talk about early English, Middle English, you can see how those influences stayed. They didn't actually go away. They still exist now, 1,000 years later. So it is quite interesting.
Somebody mentioned earlier, and we've discussed this before, the reason we've got a lot of words with French in them is because of William the Conqueror.
Yes. History.
Because of history, yes. Whoever invades you and has taken you over in the past will have introduced a lot of their language, and that's what we're left with. That's the residual effect.
Yes. Anyway,
of that.
I want to squeeze some more in, Steve. Acer. So something acer or acre relates to bitter. And this is we are coming from Latin now, Latin root.
Right.
So maybe acrid, something that is bitter or something that has an unpleasant taste.
Acrid taste or smell.
Yes, acrid. And then, of course, acrimony.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Maybe a divorce between a man and a woman. They decide that they can't stand each other anymore. They must part, but they still hate each other. So acrimony is hatred between normally a couple of people who are undergoing something. Bitterness or hate, maybe between a married couple, and then eventually they divorce. Exacerbate to make something worse. To make something worse, would you say?
Yes, definitely. To exacerbate something, make something worse, increase something. Yes.
Yes, so you're making something much worse than it is. Well, look at that. We are coming up to 3:30 now. Today's live stream has gone by so quickly. I can't believe it. So I'm now waiting for all of the complaints saying, Mr. Duncan, your live streams are too long. I don't know why, because we try to push. Have you noticed, Steve? We always try to push a lot of things into our live streams.
Well, it's got to keep it lively, current, and absorbing for people watching.
Engaging. Ooh.
Engaging. That's the word of the moment.
What we are trying to do, just like everyone on the television or on the internet, we are trying our best to engage you. We want you to stay with us, you see. So we try to say things sometimes, we do things that hopefully will engage you. You will feel as if you want to stick around for a while and see what these two crazy men are up to.
We're engaging you in the remote environment.
Anyway.
Which is a very current phrase.
Yes.
Engaging your customers. If anyone's working from home at the moment during this pandemic, and they're used to being in sales or dealing with people, their company will be involving you and using a phrase, probably remote engagement.
Oh, okay.
How to connect with your customers that you previously would have gone to visit face to face. How you can engage them through the internet.
And I think
Remote
nowadays,
engagement.
I suppose because so many people now are using the internet as a forms of communication, many people who never thought they would ever do it are now doing it. Look at your mother.
I know.
Your mother, Mr. Steve's mother, I won't give her age away, but she is just a little bit younger than the Queen of England. You see, is that okay?
Fine.
Okay.
I think I've actually mentioned it before now.
She's older than some of the trees in this garden.
Well, I think most of the trees are younger than my mother.
Okay, then. Well, in the garden. So, I lost my train of thought then, by the way. Technology. A lot of people are using technology and they never thought they would ever use it, including your mother, because she likes to chat with you.
God. Insects, Mr. Duncan.
I know, they're a pain, literally. Here we go then. Would you like to play the sentence game, Mr. Steve?
Yes.
That's what everyone is waiting for. It is now 3:30. Look at that. How precise is that? 3:30.
Pink has just seen the live stream. So, have we seen you before, Pink Garden 3? What a lovely name.
Oh, I see.
Maybe you're new.
I think Pink Garden maybe saw a recommendation for this live stream. Welcome, Pink. You are very welcome to be here. All colours are accepted. All colours are welcome, including pink as well. Here we go, Steve. Let's play the sentence game without any more delay. Ding, 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 ding. We are playing the sentence game. Do you know what, Steve? I've lost my bee.
Have you?
I've lost my bee. Can I go and get my bee? I can't find it, but I think I've left it around the corner.
I'll let you go and get your bee, Mr. Duncan.
There is a reason why I need my bee, because today's sentence...
Shall I explain that while you go and get your bee?
Does it make you happy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. If it makes you happy, Steve, let's do it. Okay, so today's sentence game, we are using the letter B. Actually, we don't need it, because there it is on the screen. You can see it there, you see. We are using the letter B today in the sentence game. I hope you are ready to play. Some of these words might be easy.
You see, I can draw.
We are using the letter B. Of course, that might also be a drawing of a very obese person. Or maybe it's a picture of my buttocks, you see.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe two bald people sitting in a chair or on the sofa. So that could be many things.
Yes, or if you had it that way round, I'm sure that's a Greek letter.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh. So that
I might be
almost
wrong.
that
Or
almost
is it Dolby? Is that the Dolby sign as well?
I don't know.
You know, for the Dolby sound for music. I'm
For
sure
music.
that, sound. I'm sure that looks a bit like that.
Okay then.
A bit random.
Shall we actually play the sentence game?
I'm a bit distracted because I've got insects crawling all over me, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
You need some fly spray in here.
Well, at least be thankful it's not me doing the same thing. Using the letter B. Okay, Steve, please.
We know the rules.
Well, you do, but there might be some people who've just joined us. Maybe you've been flicking around or clicking on something you shouldn't have, and now you are looking for some light relief.
Like Pink Garden, for example, and won't know the rules for the sentence game.
It is a sentence, missing words. They all begin with B. I will tell you how many letters each word has, and let's do it, shall we? I think it's just easier just to play the game.
I think so.
Let's just do it. Let's just play.
You'll pick it up if you don't know.
If you don't know, you'll
soon pick it up.
You will soon get the hang of it.
There we go.
We have
fill in the blanks.
We have 3 missing words.
Ooh, so a tough one to kick off with.
And all of them begin with
the letter B. And the first word has 4 letters. The second blank has 6 letters, and the third one has 5, all beginning with B.
So all of them begin with B. He has something something from something something anywhere near his ex-wife. Ah, you see.
Ooh.
So I have a feeling that this might have something to do with separation. Separation. Can I do that?
No.
Can I slap you?
No, you can't.
I will get rid of the flies for you. You've got one on your face.
No, I have.
You have. You've got one crawling around.
No, that one can stay. It's quite all right.
You have to be careful because some of these insects, they can crawl inside your ear and then they lay their eggs inside your brain, and then about a year later, suddenly all these things start coming out of your ears and nose. I've seen documentaries on television.
On Star Trek.
No,
somebody crawled into somebody's ear, into somebody's ear, and then sort of ate its way into their brain. Wasn't it the one with Khan? It was that one, wasn't it? It was that Star Trek film.
What are you?
From a long time ago. It was Chekhov. Chekhov was captured by who was Ricardo Montalbano. You remember Ricardo Montalblanc? I can't remember the actor. He was in Star Trek, wasn't he?
Sorry, what does this have to do with anything?
Things crawling into your brain.
Okay, then.
I think things are crawling into me. I'm covered in insects.
I think something has crawled into your brain and they've taken it with them.
His name was Khan, wasn't he?
Yes, okay.
It's Ricardo, the famous character actor.
Yes.
And Chekhov, poor old Chekhov, was captured by him on this lonely, deserted planet that Kirk had left him there sort of decades before. And it turns him over and introduces this slug-like creature into his ear, and it burrows its way into his brain. It's horrible. Anyway, they get it out, and it's happy ever after.
I'm very sorry about that. Whatever that was, you can always skip that. If you're watching again on the replay, you can just skip that.
The Wrath of Khan. You should know that, Mr. Duncan.
I do know it.
Film.
I do know it, but I don't see the point of talking about it right now as we're playing the sentence game. He has.
Well, we're allowing people to think of the words, and have they? Right. We've got some results coming through, Mr. Duncan.
Okay, don't say what the words
are.
I
won't.
I don't know about explaining the rules. I always feel as if I have to explain the rules to Steve, to be honest. Oh, okay then.
Oh, very good.
We've got answers coming through now. Not necessarily correct, but some of them, yes. Valentina, yes. Diana. Beatrice, some of them are coming through. He has something from something anywhere near his ex-wife. So I get the feeling that the couple have separated acrimoniously. Oh, so that's the word we looked at earlier. Acrimonious. You do something, but you do it in a bitter and horrible way.
Oh, well, Valentin was very quick off the mark
Okay.
and got all three, I think.
Oh, okay, very good.
Very good.
So my cock
Pardon?
is about to say hello. Would you like to say hello to my cock? There you go.
Yes, talking of chickens.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Here comes the answer then to the You know what? This ulcer is a real pain in the neck, but also it's a pain in the mouth because it's very hard to talk when you've got the end of your tongue is actually rotting away from an ulcer. Horrible.
And don't we know about it?
He has something from something anywhere near his ex-wife. The answer is bing.
Well done.
He has been banned. Oh, banned. He has been banned
Told yes.
from being anywhere near his ex-wife. He has been banned. He has been told that he has to stay away from his ex-wife. He has been banned from being anywhere near his ex-wife. If you got that right, well done.
Dana S was the first with the first word, been, and then Valentin was first to get all three correct.
Okay.
So well done, but lots of other people have also got it.
We have to,
Broken.
okay, we
don't
have
think-
to move on, Steve.
Are we moving on?
Yes.
Right, we're moving on. Oh no, I'm looking to see if anyone comes up with any alternative words, because sometimes people come up with words which are different to yours but also fit the sentence.
Yes. Okay. Well,
But
we
we didn't get any at that time.
Okay then. Here's the next one, Steve. We are looking for the letter B, and here is the second sentence game for today. Oh, this one's easy. Oh, I think this one's really easy. I think I've made this too easy. The poor will have to take the something of the welfare cutbacks.
Oh, okay. The poor will have to take the
Something.
something beginning with B, 5 letters.
5 letters. Yes. This might be a word that you've never seen before, or it might be a word that you are very familiar with. So it depends.
We'll wait 30 seconds to see if anybody comes up with any suggestions. And maybe it will match up with what you have suggested is the word that best fits that sentence. What is the word that best fits that sentence?
The poor will have to take the something of the welfare cutbacks. So this is a word that was used quite a lot during our period here in the UK where we had something called austerity. Austerity. Lots of cutbacks. The government had to save lots of money. So many welfare payments were changed. The way in which certain welfare benefits were changed over the years. Although now it seems fairly pointless, doesn't it? We spent 10 years getting all of the spending down here in this country, and many people suffered. Some people even died because of it.
Yes, so people are coming up with suggestions. Just make sure we know what that sentence is saying. So what we're saying is that people in society, the poorest in society here, were having welfare given to them, support money from the government, but this money is being cut back. In other words, reduced. So the poor are having their welfare, their benefits cut back,
Yes.
reduced.
Yes. So that they will have to take the largest part of the effect, and quite often the effect will be negative. So we had 10 years of cutbacks. And now here we are, nearly 5 months into a very serious situation, and now we are throwing money around like confetti at a wedding. So I don't know who is going to pay for all of that money we've been spending to support people during the lockdown. So all of those years of cutbacks and saving, and now we are just throwing money around as if it's just so easy. And but who's going to pay for it? I will tell you, we will. We will have to pay for it.
Well, nobody's got it right yet, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think people are understanding what the sentence means. So I'll explain it again. So that sentence means that there were poor people in society, maybe people who'd lost their jobs, were having money from the government, welfare, to pay for food and bills and things like that. But they're having that cut back. In other words, they're having it reduced.
Mm-hmm.
So the poor will have to, a word that means they will have to take the consequences
And also the
of the welfare cutbacks.
Yes, and also the largest part of the negative effect of something as well is that word. We will give you a couple of more seconds.
It's not bonus, because that is the opposite of what that sentence is saying.
So the word cutback, if you cut back, it means you reduce. You reduce something. Maybe if Mr. Steve is cutting back his bushes, he is making them smaller or easier to manage. So when we say cut back, we mean a reduction. You are making something smaller or less. So when you have welfare cutbacks, the money that is given by the government to help people who are in difficult situations will be reduced. It will be less welfare cutbacks.
No, nobody's got it, Mr. Duncan.
Well, I
So
suppose
this is a new word, obviously, to a lot of people.
Yes, I think this is good. I think this is why we're doing this, you see. This is why we are here doing this on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, so if there are cutbacks, reductions in money that the government give you, the welfare, what will happen to poor people? Who in society, it's the poorest that often suffer
It is.
when there's austerity or cutbacks in government spending.
So in this
So
particular
they take the
yes, of the welfare cutbacks. Cock-a-doodle-doo, Steve.
Well, I think we're going to have to.
Are we going to cockle-doodle? Oh,
Somebody's got it, but yes, let's do cockle-doodle-doo.
cockle-doodle-doo?
Yes.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. Like
Well,
that.
I think you ought to get ready with your applause, Mr. Duncan,
Okay.
because only one person that I can see here got it,
Okay.
and it's Jimmy in Hong Kong.
Jimmy in Hong Kong. Well, if anyone knows about receiving the bad part of a situation, I would say it's most people in Hong Kong at the moment for various reasons. So yes, I think
If I'd said that, you'd have told me to no.
well,
You say-
I know how far to go, you see.
But well done, Jimmy. Yes.
Jimmy in Hong Kong. The answer is coming right now. We were only looking for 5 letters. The word is bing.
Yes.
Brunt. Oh. You are taking the worst part, or the largest part.
You're the most affected.
To be the most affected.
You're the most affected by something.
Yes.
You're taking the brunt.
You are taking the heavy load, or the thing that is going to cause problems.
Yeah. So you could say that soldiers in battle, the soldiers on the front line, the ones that are right at the front meeting the enemy, will take the brunt of the attack from the other side. So getting the most of it, getting the worst effects from something. It's a very interesting word. There's only really one word that fits in there, and it is brunt.
That's it.
So taking the most consequences
That's
of
it.
something.
That's it. The largest degree, the largest part, the most that will occur, or the worst part of something. You are taking the largest part of a bad situation. You are taking the brunt of the welfare cutbacks.
Few people have put the word blow, but that's not 5 letters.
No.
But I mean, it would fit. They're taking the word brunt means that they are taking the most consequences.
That's it.
So if you cut back welfare, then it's inevitably the poorest in society that will suffer the most. If you take the brunt of something, you're suffering the most.
That's it. Shall we move on? Yes, I think we should, because we only have 12 minutes before we go. Don't forget, I am back with you on Wednesday. Wednesday, don't forget, 3 times a week. Sunday, Wednesday and Friday, 2 p.m. UK time. For those who don't know when I'm with you, that is when I am with you.
Another use of the word brunt, you could say if a company was making redundancies, you could say that and it's quite often the case, the people that were employed last will take the brunt of the redundancies.
Yes.
Because quite often if you're first in, you're last in, you're first out of a company.
So if you join a company later than other people, quite often you will be the first person to be asked to take redundancy, or to be, well, got rid of, basically.
Yes. You get the worst. Somebody says you get the worst part of something. So it's a very good word, Mr. Duncan.
Valentina says, the sentence game makes me depressed because I hardly catch a word. Do you mean you hardly get one of the words right? Well, as I always say, the sentence game is not here to test you necessarily, but also it is here to show you the way you construct sentences, but also to give you some new words, like the one we just had, brunt. So a lot of people did not know that word, but now you do, thanks to the sentence game. Here's another one. I think we've got time for maybe 2 more before we disappear. Here is another one, Steve. Oh.
The kids, something beginning with B, 4 letters, damaged both the B with 6 letters and B, 4 letters of my car.
The kids, something damaged both the something and something of my car. We are looking for 4, 6, and also 4. 4 letters, 6 letters, and 4 letters. I think maybe some people will get this, especially if you are a child, or you were a child and you would play in the street quite often, doing a certain thing. You see?
Now we could have lots of different answers to this, couldn't we, Mr. Duncan? I think we may find that people will come up with a lot of different words that will fit other than the ones that you're suggesting.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jimmy, for your donation. We've just had a donation come through from Jimmy in Hong Kong. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your concern, Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. Yes. Well, I always have a lot of concern with everyone over in that part of the world, because I spent a lot of time living nearby, and of course you visited Hong Kong as well.
I did, and it was lovely. It was. I've never been to a city where I was just mesmerising. I felt like I was on a film set. I've often seen this. If you've ever watched the film, what's the? I'm thinking of Mr.
I don't know. I'm not telepathic. I'm not telepathic.
You know,
Steve.
I always tell this story, and I've forgotten the name of the film. Oh,
do you mean Blade Runner?
Blade Runner.
Don't say it just after I say it.
Blade Runner. That's it.
So yes,
Harrison Ford.
Yes, the scenery in Blade Runner. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was inspired by all of the neon lights in Hong Kong.
And the sounds, it was incredible. Everything felt different. It was very captivating, and the public transport system was amazing. 1 ticket, and you could travel on any mode of transport. It was amazing. and lovely bay. We went up there at night to the, I can't remember the name. There's a high hill, and you look down on all the lovely buildings lit up at night.
Yeah.
Yes, it was amazing.
I would love to go to Hong Kong, but now it's looking less and less likely that I will ever be able to go there. It looks as if my chances of going to Hong Kong are becoming smaller and smaller, unfortunately.
But we won't get too political.
No, we're not.
No, I'm not.
I'm
I
just
know we're
sending
not,
my
but,
best wishes to all those watching in Hong Kong.
Yes.
I hope you're doing well.
Heartfelt wishes.
So we have 3 missing words, 4, 6, 4. Excuse me, I think a fly's just gone into my mouth.
Oh, right.
You're moving over, Steve.
I'm always moving.
I don't know what it is about Steve. Whenever he does something, he slowly moves across. I don't know what's happening. I think Mr. Steve is actually on wheels. I think on the bottom of Mr. Steve's feet, I think there are tiny little wheels. And he slowly moves across like that, as if he's moving along on wheels.
Ooh.
Yes?
Yes. Well, yes.
What?
Uh,
We're getting a lot of answers, by the way,
We are.
but not all of them correct.
well done, Tomek. And I can't read your iPad, Mr. Duncan, because you... Is that an R? Randa, is it? I can't see.
Yeah, it's Randa.
Yes, Randa.
Randa
yes.
Saber.
Tomek.
Steve now is just hitting the screen, and if you suddenly find yourself blocked, it's Steve's fault, not my fault. I didn't block you, Steve did. There we go. A couple of more seconds, and then we have to go. We'll have time. I think we have time for one more, and then we are definitely going into the house to have a cup of tea, and also I have to remove all of the flies from inside my underwear. A few more seconds.
A few more seconds, and then it's time for your cock to appear. Or should I say the?
Yes. Well, it is my cock. I keep him round the back. I feed him every day.
Lots of people keep chickens around here, don't they, Mr.
They do.
Duncan?
It's become very popular.
Very popular. People are
Yes.
keeping chickens.
A lot of
even
people.
though-
A lot of people have hens, but very few people have cocks.
Well, we don't want them to because they make a lot of noise.
They do. What sort of noise do they make?
Oh, hello, hello!
You mean
That's it.
that noise? The kids, something damaged both the something and something of my car.
Oh,
The
well.
answer is coming now on the screen as if by magic. Bing! Oh.
Guess who was first? Tomek was first to get all 3.
Well done,
Well done,
Tomek.
Tomek.
You get a super duper Mr. Duncan salute. This is my new feature, by the way. Instead of having a round of applause, I'm also giving salutes. So you get a Mr. Duncan salute.
And Randa can get one as well because Randa was the first person to come up with a suggestion, which was ball. Which often when one person says one thing, that will help others to get the full answer.
Yes. So ball, I suppose we should explain the words. Well, ball, I don't think I need to explain ball. Ball is a thing you play with. Often kids will kick a ball around in the street. The kids' ball damaged both the bonnet and the boot of my car. So both parts of the car were damaged. The bonnet is at the front of the car where the engine is, so it is something that goes over the engine. In American English they say hood. In British English we say bonnet, like hat, you see, bonnet, a covering. And the back of the car, where you often open a small lid or a small door at the back, you put things in. That is the boot. Or in American English, you say trunk.
Yes. So, well, what I'm surprised about is that you could have used the word bike, the kid's bike.
Oh, I see.
Nobody's come up with that, but you could
What?
have used the kid's bike.
What are the kids doing with the bike? Are they throwing the bike around?
Yeah, but kids ride bikes and then they bash into your car, don't they?
How do you damage the bonnet with a
Well,
bike?
They might do. They might do.
Is it a flying bike?
It depends. If you've got a Ferrari, your bonnet's very close to the. But the back as well, and the back of the car, you could have had some people have put back.
Yes. So there are some words you could have put in there.
Yeah, exactly. Back of the car, some people have got that. Yeah. But not baby. Somebody suggested the word baby. I
Where?
don't think, are you throwing the baby against?
The kid's baby?
Yes.
The kid's
Never
baby?
mind, never mind.
Yes, maybe you're playing football with the baby, like in South Park. Oh,
So yes,
that's it.
that's it.
Is this how it ends today? It just sort of fades away to nothing. Oh, okay.
Throwing the bike, yes. Well, you might have done, yes. You could have used bike, but I think ball fits it better because it would be difficult to damage a bonnet or a boot, really, with a bike, unless you were throwing it. Somebody else put bumper,
Okay.
damage the bumper.
Hmm.
So you could damage the bumper. Certainly
Yes.
a bike would.
The bumper can be the area at the front and back that normally is there to protect the car.
But if you're using ball, a ball probably won't damage a bumper unless it's a heavy ball,
Hmm. Maybe they're playing with a bowling ball.
Yeah, yes.
Maybe they're in the street throwing a bowling ball
Yes,
around.
they might be.
By the way, don't do that. Don't say that Mr. Duncan told you to do it, because I'm saying now that I didn't, okay? So don't go out in the street tonight and don't throw a bowling ball around at your neighbour's car and say that Mr. Duncan told me to do it, because I didn't. And now I'm telling you I didn't. So this is the proof that I didn't tell you to do it.
Someone's
Don't
asked
do it.
about, Jade has asked about boot. The boot is the back of the car where you put the luggage in.
Yes.
The boot is the back.
Yeah.
Obviously, boot does also mean a type of shoe.
A large, heavy shoe.
And I don't know why the back of a car where you put your luggage is called the boot. In England, maybe that's referring to where you would have put your boots. Or
What?
I don't know, because maybe that's
So-
what people used to carry
so-
around in,
so-
in ancient carriages.
So when Henry Ford was designing the motor car, he said, "Oh, so I've got the engine at the front, but at the back, where am I going to put my boots?
Well, maybe, yes.
Where am I going to put the boots? I will make a little door at the back of the car, so I can put my boots in there." I don't think that's true. Somehow.
Bonnet is the front. That's where your engine is. So it's the cover over the engine.
Unless of
Bonnet.
course you have one of those cars that has an engine in the back.
It's like a bonnet that a lady would wear. It covers your head, a covering.
Unless you're driving around in a dragster.
Yes.
Steve, do you like that? I knew what a dragster was. A dragster is one of those cars that has the engine at the back, and the front of the car is very light.
Yes.
And the only way you can stop the car is to open a parachute at the back. That's it, you see. You know that a car is going fast when it has to have a parachute at the back and to stop it. Maybe your car can have one of those when you're driving too fast. Anyway, we're going now. We have to go now. Bye.
I'll go
go.
first. It's been enjoyable as ever, Mr. Duncan, apart from the insects.
I know.
The tiny insects that are biting into my neck
I
and
know.
making me scratch.
I can feel them under my hat. I've got lots of little insects. They're having a little party.
I think what's happening is because I've been killing a lot of ants,
Okay.
as I explained last week, because I'm been redoing the slabs on the little patio
Okay,
at the back of our...
we all know about this.
I know, but well,
This, this is now...
but I killed even more ants this
Yes.
week. I blocked all their hole, where they come out of, and we've been having flying
Steve.
ants. So I think it's the other insects that are getting revenge.
We don't have to do anything else now.
What I would say.
You
Anyway, Bye-bye, everyone.
You're just prolonging the show now. We don't have to do anything else. We've served our purpose today. We are like, you know when you blow your nose on a piece of tissue paper? That's us. We are the piece of tissue paper. And now you can just screw us up into a little ball and throw us into the waste bin. Because we're done. That's it. We're done. We're finished today. That's all we have to do.
Lovely to see you.
Yes, lovely to see you as well.
And I shall see you again in about 5 minutes' time in the kitchen.
Yes, we will.
Are we sitting outside?
I don't know.
Have a cup of tea and tea cake?
I have a feeling if we eat any food outside, the insects will just eat it. We won't get a chance to eat the food because all of the flies will just eat it right in front of us.
Lovely. Ta-ta for now.
Thank you, Mr. Steve.
See you all next week. All being well.
Okay.
Bye.
See you, Steve.
I'm going. My glass is empty.
It always is. Thank you, Mr. Steve. Thank you for your company today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed watching me being eaten alive by thousands of insects. It's been very interesting. Thanks for your company today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will be back with you on Wednesday. I will be with you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time, and of course Friday as well. Sunday, Wednesday and Friday is when I'm on the internet with you. See you on Wednesday. Thanks for your company. I'm now waiting for all of the complaints from people saying, "Oh, you did 2 hours again. I can't sit through 2 hours." I'm ever so sorry about that. You can have the captions later when YouTube processes this live stream. So all of this lovely colour will be available forever on YouTube. And also later on there will be captions as well. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the day. Oh, that's interesting. My live camera has gone off. Isn't that strange? I don't know what's happened there. How bizarre. I think Mr. Steve has caught the lead from the camera. How strange is that? I'm going to try and put that right. I can't end my show like this. I want to end in a dynamic way with lovely scenery. No, it's not working. Oh, one of my cameras has broken. Well, that's not very good, is it? So instead I will end by showing you me washing my hands. Don't forget to stay safe, stay happy. Nice. Oh, thank you very much for your duration. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Jade. Thank you to Vitas. Thank you to Palmyra. And everyone else. Thank you very much for watching me today. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.